Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk to you guys about this whole situation with Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson, in case you don't know, is the actress who plays Black Widow in the MCU. Now, initially I wasn't gonna make a video about this because I didn't really think this was even worth talking about, but then something happened recently that made me go, okay, yeah, we maybe we should talk about this because I do feel like it is pretty important. So what ended up happening is Scarlett Johansson has come out and says that she is suing Disney over Black Widow streaming release. Now let me just go back and give you guys some context for anyone who doesn't really know what's going on. So basically, remember, Black Widow is a movie that was made pre the time that we're living in, and I'm gonna try to avoid talking about that specifically because you guys know how YouTube doesn't really like it when you mention it, even though there are other people who mention it and nothing happens to them, but whatever, that's YouTube. It's very biased. So Black Widow, a movie that was supposed to be released years ago, but then of course all the stuff happened and it ended up getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, and then of course just earlier this month, the movie did get released. However, excuse me. However, what ended up happening is the movie didn't just get released in theaters. Disney did what, in my opinion, is actually a very, very stupid move, and is a move that is ultimately going to end up biting them in the ass, which is they not only released the movie in theaters, they also released it on Disney Plus, of course, with the whole premium payment and everything, where they have to pay $30 if you want to watch this movie, as opposed to a movie like, let's say, that appears on Netflix, where you can just watch it at any time you want, no additional cost. So that's basically what ended up happening, and of course the movie made money in the box office, but Disney also went out and said that, they made $60 million in streaming services, so that's about 2 million people who watched it at home as opposed to watching it in the theater. Now keep that in mind because it is going to be important in the video moving forward. Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney because apparently, according to what's being told, she had it in her contract to where Scarlett Johansson would make money off the box office backend. Now, what that technically means is basically every actor has it in their contract to where they would make a certain amount of money based off the box office. Scarlett Johansson just has it in her contract to where she earns, if what they're telling us is true, she earns 5% of the box office. So let's say, for example, a movie were to make $1 billion, which used to be the average for every Marvel movie. Scarlett Johansson would make $50 million because that's 5% of $1 billion. Anyway, what ended up happening is that because Scarlett Johansson, she's suing them because Disney decided to release the movie on streaming services, which is Disney Plus. And she says that because of that, they basically ended up screwing her over a lot of money. And basically, she's suing them because they basically breached her contract, because according to what's being told, she had it in her contract to where she thought that this movie was only going to be released in theaters, which makes sense because also in her contract she has it to where she earns 5% of whatever is in the box office. And if Disney did something to compromise her earnings, then yes, you could say that she does have a right to sue them because they are the ones who are in breach of contract. If you have a contract with someone and if that person decides to breach that contract, you are well within your right to sue that person for breach of contract, and that is exactly what Scarlett Johansson is doing. Now, before I move on to the next article and give you guys my thoughts on that, I just want to give you guys my thoughts on this and what I think about the whole Disney releasing movies on streaming services and in theaters, and how it basically ties into what's going on here. Now, personally, in my opinion, I've always thought the whole idea of releasing a movie in streaming services at the same time as you do in theaters, I've always thought that was a stupid idea. Like, to me, that never made any sense whatsoever, because say you're someone who wants to watch a movie, right? And that movie is currently being played in theaters. Now, you would think, okay, the only way for me to watch the movie right now is to just go to the theater, pay the ticket, and then maybe pay for some amenities such as popcorn and drinks or whatever. And you think that that's the only way to watch the movie. However, if someone told you that there's another way you can watch a movie, except you can sit at home and you can watch it legally instead of, let's say, the other way, then realistically, you would think that most people would go, well, if I could just watch it at home, why would I go to the theater? Why would I bother changing my clothes, paying for gas and then driving all the way to the theater and then paying 15 bucks or whatever the price for a ticket is now, uh, to pay for a ticket and then sit in a theater where there are a bunch of people who, in this day and age, let's face it, most people in the theater don't even watch the fucking movie. They're just in their phones or they're talking with their friends, which honestly kind of diminishes the theater going experience. And I feel like if someone was offered another way, even if you have to pay, let's say, double the price of a movie ticket, I feel like most people would pick that because at least they get to stay at home and they're not bothered by other people and they could just watch the movie at their own time. Like, let's say they got to go to the bathroom, they could just pause it right there and they could just go use the bathroom, then come back and then not miss a single second of the movie. I just feel like because of that, I'm actually shocked that no one over at Disney even remotely thought about that at all. That's why to me I was always baffled by this decision for them to release a movie in the theaters and then at the same time put it out in the streaming services. And then when it comes to streaming services, we also got to talk about the issue of piracy. Back then, even if a movie was released in theaters, of course you're going to have people who are, let's say, going to record it on their phone, and they're going to put it out in. You guys know the type of sites, the torrent sites, where that's infamous for file sharing, where they could go and download a version of the movie. Before, it used to be the whole shaky cam whatever, but now because it's on streaming services, now they get a clearer, high quality, high definition version of the movie, and they don't even have to pay a goddamn thing. So there's that problem. And again, to me, knowing that, why would no one over at Disney even remotely think about that? It always baffled me, and I get it. They want to push their streaming services, so if they have a movie called like Black Widow that's out on streaming service, it would incline some people to go buy a subscription to Disney Plus and then go watch the movie. But to me, I just feel like the negatives just far outweigh the positives when it comes to this business model. Again, I keep saying it, but it baffles me that there's no one in Disney that even thought about this. So let's move on over to the next article, and this one, hold on. This one has to do with Scarlett Johansson apparently getting a response from the lawsuit, according to Disney. Now, this, to me, the reason why this is important is because this once again shows you just the kind of company that Disney is. Remember, Disney is the kind of company that has gone out there and said that, we believe in this, or we believe in that, or we stand by, women in the workforce. We believe that women need to be heard. And yet when a woman goes up to you and then says that, hey, you screwed me out of a bunch of money, now all of a sudden that just gets all thrown out the window. Because again, I've said it before, and I feel like I'm definitely going to say it again. When it comes to Hollywood, never take what anyone, especially an executive in Hollywood, says at face value. Okay, especially when they go out there in interviews and they say that, oh, we believe in this or whatever. Never just take it at face value, because these people are always lying. Remember, this is a company that is built of people pretending to be something that they're not. And especially when it comes to executives, because to them, the most important thing to them is optics. It's all PR. They're always going out there doing these PR moves. There they go. The interviews are all for PR. The statements that they put in, out, so sites like Deadline or Hollywood Reporter or Wall Street Journal can write their articles. It's all done for PR. It's never genuine. That's why whenever you read an article about something that's happening in Hollywood, or you read an article about a Hollywood executive saying this or that, never take it at face value. Always try to read between the lines. So Disney decided to respond to Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit. Like I said, they called it callous disregard to this right here. Again, you guys know YouTube doesn't really like anyone talking about it on YouTube, except for some people. And again, this just goes to show you the kind of company that Disney is. Now they're using this, what you saw on screen that I just highlighted, as an excuse to basically fight back against Scarlett Johansson's claim that Disney screwed her out of a bunch of money. Now they're trying to say, well, I mean, hello, the flu. I mean, all of that happened. Aren't you even gonna think about that? And it's just, again, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They never have. They never will. It's all optics to them. This is them just trying to do whatever they can to make themselves out to be the good guys in this situation. They're trying to make themselves out to be the ones who, oh, we're the ones who are, oh, poor us, oh, woe is me, and all that crap. And again, never take what they say at face value. Always read between the lines when it comes to Hollywood. So we have a situation where Scarlett Johansson is suing them because she got screwed out of a bunch of money. And if what she's saying is true, I do believe she's in the right, because Disney, again, they're the ones who made the decision to put Black Widow on streaming services as well as box office. And if they are the ones who made that decision, then yes, they are the ones who are in the wrong, because if it really was in her contract that she would gain money off the box office and the box office alone, then yes, they did breach contract, because them putting it on streaming services where any of the money made does not go to Scarlett Johansson, then yes, they did breach contract. And yes, I do think she does have a case here, if what we're being told is 100% true. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. And I know a lot of people are probably going to say, well, the days of Scarlett Johansson working with Disney are probably over. Maybe. I mean, I personally think that Ray Fisher may never work at Hollywood ever, or at least with Warner Brothers ever again, because of the whole situation with Zack Snyder. Because I feel like now, well, excuse me, not Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon. Because I feel like now, Warner Brothers is gonna, I nearly said Walt Disney, Warner Brothers is gonna look at that situation and think that maybe it's probably safer if we just never work with this guy ever again, because we never know if he's gonna go to the press again and try to basically give us a PR nightmare. And I feel like there's a chance other Hollywood studios are gonna look at what happened with Ray Fisher and say, yeah, it's probably not a good idea to work with this guy ever again, because again, look at the debacle that he created for Warner Brothers. I don't think any of us actually want that. And I feel like there's a chance it might happen with Scarlett Johansson and with Disney, and there's a chance it's going to bleed over to other studios. Although personally, I think that would be a mistake, because Scarlett Johansson is still a box office draw. She is still a big name actress. I feel like a lot of people are going to go watch a movie because it has Scarlett Johansson in it. And look, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, I can only speculate. I can only make an educated guess based on what's going on, based on the information that I have. Personally, I predict that it's probably going to be a while before Scarlett Johansson works with Disney ever again, especially after this. I don't know about other studios. I feel like they might look at it and at the very least have doubts as to, you know what, I feel like they might be fine as long as they just don't breach contract ever again. Or if they do plan to release movies and streaming services as well as theaters, maybe let it be known earlier so they can renegotiate the contract. Anyway, that's all I have to say on this, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, remember to like the video, share the video, subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell for notification, and I hope to see you guys for the next video. Bye for now.